So the next step is finding the information so that you are able to follow along with what the banks are thinking. So what I want you to do is go over some very good free resources that you should bookmark and do your own research to keep up to date with what the banks are thinking on a daily basis. So the best free feeds that you can go away and research every day are as follows. The first one is Bloomberg.com, particularly the currency section. The next one is ForexLive.com. Now the main use of this site is the analysis that it provides. In the analysis provider, not only do they give you information, but they also give you the interpretation from some of really good analysts in the FX industry. We also have centralbanknews.info. This final one is a very good source for keeping in tune with what each central bank is doing and also highlighting the related articles written. These articles are a great source of information and all things related to the central banks. So let's just go through each one of these in greater detail so that you can better understand what the central bank is thinking. So for Bloomberg, all we really need to do is to read the articles in the currency section. But what we are looking for is 4 things. If your article doesn't include all these 4 things, you can just disregard it. If it does contain these 4 things, there's something in there that we can possibly trade on. So let's take a look. Number 1 is we need the currency pair. This will usually be in the headline of the article, but basically which currency pair is the article talking about? Very simple. Number 2, we then need the direction. Is the currency pair going up or going down? Again, very simple, and it'll probably be in the headlines. The third one is we need to then read the article for the reasons of the move. We just want to know why it's moving. If the article says the New Zealand dollar went up today and there's no reason for it, then it just went down today. And we are not interested in that. We want to know the reason. For example, the New Zealand dollar went up today because the Bank of New Zealand cut its interest rates. That's a reason. That's a fundamental reason. So basically you want to look for those reasons. And finally, we want the analyst expectation. The New Zealand dollar went up today because the Bank of New Zealand cut its interest rates. Analysts now expect the pair to reach 80 cents by the end of the summer. Now we've got the analyst expectations that is giving us some sort of a framework or guideline as to which prices are important. It's not always going to be accurate, not always going to be true, but it's just going to give us an expectation of how much it is likely to rise or fall. And it just gives us a good visualization of how to trade that currency over the coming months. And again, they'll most likely also give you a time limit. So maybe 3 months or 6 months or a year. So you've got a very brief idea of how long we can expect that move to continue. So when you're on Bloomberg, try and keep your focus on those 4 things and you'll be able to get the best points from each article that you're looking at. The next one that we're looking at is ForexLive.com. Now the purpose of this is to give us an almost real-time filtered news, and the most important thing here is the analysis. So if something happens, for example, if you are trading the New Zealand dollar and it suddenly goes down, you don't have to wait 5 to 6 hours for Bloomberg to write an article on it. You kinda need to know what's going on. Forex Live is where you can get that quicker. Generally, each post is released a few minutes after the event, allowing you to have a much more up-to-date picture of what's really going on. Now the other great thing about this website is that it's Forex specific. They also have a dedicated central bank filter, allowing you to just look at any central bank related news immediately. And of course, as I've already mentioned, they also add an extra layer of analysis and information that really helps with the interpretation of those events. Which of course is especially useful for you at the beginning of your trading journey. The final one, of course, the centralbanknews.info, which of course is a fantastic site which allows you to get right into exactly what all the major news sources have been reporting regarding what has just been happening around the world's central banks. Now these free resources should not be underestimated, so hopefully now you can see that trading fundamentals is a vital component, but it's also fairly straightforward.